best if I had my seatbelt on. Okay, so it's me, Kai, and of course, I have something to say. I was sitting and I was thinking about my kids when they were little, my 3 sons and my stepdaughter, who I love very much, and how that when they were young, I used to, find time once a month, at least once a month, to sit down with them and to have conversation with them. They can ask whatever questions that they wanted to ask, and they were really, really young. I started this. My baby at the time was probably about 2. So he didn't know what was going on. They were just sitting and having a conversation. So he was in on it, but one else was probably, I think my daughter at the time might have been like 12, and so which have made, no, she might have been even younger than that. She might have been like 10 or 11. No, she had to be about 11. I'll say that my oldest son was probably about 8 at the time. So anyway, I started, having them sit down, and we were having conversation, and I let them say whatever, they wanted to say or talk about. And I realized that I had done that because when I was younger, I felt like I never had a voice. And which taught me, as when you're young, when your parents are making you kind of be quiet and be still, you internalize a lot of things. And when you get into relationships and get into life, you don't really know how to conversate. You don't really know how to actually have a conversation, because you've grown up in this space where children should be seen and not heard. No disrespect to my mother. She did what she was taught, and her mother did what she was taught. So on, so on, and so on, and so on. Which made me begin to really think about how we are not allowing our children to be who they came into this world to be. And when I began to really think about that, I thought about how that we have these children, and sometimes it's really selfish. I mean, we don't really think that it is, but for real, it's kind of selfish that we bring them into this world and we want them to be mini-me's, and we're proud. We walk around and say, that's my mini-me. Well, you don't even have your shit together. You don't even know what life really has to offer you. You don't know who you are. So why would you want somebody to come into this world to be a smaller version of you? And no disrespect to anybody, because we all have done it. I have done it, And so when I sit and I think about this, children come into this world a whole being. They have a task that they were assigned to, and everything about them is related to that task that they were assigned to, which means the way they walk, the way they talk, their characteristics, their personality, everything about them was designed for their purpose here on earth. And what we do as parents, what we do as the village around that child, what we do as the teachers, society, we change everything about that child to what it is we believe that they should be. Thus, when they get to a place where they're supposed to be the adult and they're supposed to know what their purpose is, they have no idea, because we've turned them into an entirely different person than who they were meant to be. As they were 1 and 2 years old, they were walking, and maybe they picked their leg up higher or whatever. We would, either correct them, and every time that they did it, we conditioned them to walk differently. Every time that they said a word, of course, we want them to say words correctly and how they're supposed to be pronounced. But whatever energy or force that comes behind that word, we begin to change how they pronunciate or enunciate or place that energy behind that word. And we have to be careful about that, because every one of us came into this world as an original, and what we tend to do to our children is turn them into copies. We make them copies of everybody else. If they come into this world and their gender is a girl, we put them on pink. We don't even know if the child itself really likes pink. you know, and here it is that we put them on pink, we put them on girly colors, and we put them on girly things. And some of your children, even at little young ages, 1 and 2, don't like the stuff that you put them on, and they show you that they don't like it, and you still put them on it. And what happens is we become less and less and less of the person that God designed us to be, and more into the person that our parents, our teachers, our society, our communities turn us into being. And deep down inside, we struggle within ourselves because we know something is off. Something is not the way that it's supposed to be. I'm supposed to be somebody else. I'm supposed to be something else. God designed me a certain way so that everything that I was would fit into the purpose that I came here on the planet to be. Basically, what we do is say, God, I know you gave me this little person, but I'm going to change it into whoever it is I want it to be. You know, and a lot of times we do that because of shame. Because we're ashamed of our kids, or we want them to be like other kids, so we change them into other kids instead of saying, baby, whoever it is that you are, that's who you're supposed to be, and to celebrate them and to allow them to be who they are, regardless if we agree with it or not, regardless of, you know, it's the colors that we like or not. We're not supposed to turn everybody into us. If everybody was supposed to be us, just think about who it is you are. Think about everything that you know, everything that you do, everything that you be. Yes, we all are amazing people, but underneath that, we all have some traumas, we all have some hurt, we all have some things that we need to work on, and that's a part of who we are. But we need to not bring our children into the world being mini us's, being mini me's, when they're supposed to be original design. It's almost as like somebody designs this original painting and we put it in this gallery and we say, well, it doesn't have the same stroke as this one, so we start stroking it, changing the whole composition of this painting, and so it looks like other paintings. That's not how we're supposed to be. We're not designed to be that like that. We, each one of us, have our own original blueprint, and we come into this world to do what it is that we have been sent here to do as spirits. Allow your children to be who they are. Don't try and put your own influences on them. See, feel their vibrations of who they are and allow them to be that. What do you think? Comments down below. Love you guys. Peace. About to hit this gym.